Welcome to the Reno Design Show, the virtual edition. We can't be with you in person, but it doesn't mean we can't bring you some of the very best the Reno and design industry has to offer, including one of our leading architects, has been for many, many years. Dion Seminara, thank you for coming in to chat to us and share your wisdom with us.
Thank you so much.
So good to have you here. I'm a Eastern Suburbs girl, so I feel like I've seen your name around the traps for a long time because that's been your side of town.
Yes, have had an office in Morningside since 2007 and traded in Hawthorn prior to that and South Brisbane prior to that, so a long time.
Incredible part of Brisbane, I guess, and Queensland to be operating in for that amount of time because that's undergone so much change.
Yes. I live in Hawthorn myself and I've been there since 1990, so massive change. Some of it not so good, but some of the development's not so good either, but a very, very busy place, and you can certainly get anything you like from any shop in that area.
I love when I was looking at some of your work and it says architect designing outcomes that will enhance your life. And I don't often think, people mightn't actually think that's what it's about, but it is, isn't it? What you're doing is to make your life better.
Definitely, and making sure people really understand what sort of feeling they want from their space. It's not only their needs and their wants, and often it's more wants than needs, you could say,
yes.
But definitely, really, that's one of the first questions I'll always ask people. What sort of feeling do you want for this space? What sort of level of comfort are you looking for? How do you operate just on a day-to-day basis? What do you do socially? All of those things are really important to understand as a designer perspective, to understand how people operate. If we don't understand that, there is no way that somebody can design.
Absolutely. So you're having lots of conversations,
Yeah.
and I guess for you, the big thing is education.
Education is everything to me. For me, it's about, that's an introductory service that we offer. It's about educating. So to be able to come into somebody's place, spend 3 hours, and most of the people I come do that for, and I've done thousands, their heads are spinning at the end of it. It's an intense process.
Well, if you're not an expert and it's not your game, it's a lot to take in, isn't it? Because there's so much to think of.
Yeah, and obviously these days, sustainability, design for climate, it's something I've been doing for 30 years. Now we use the word sustainable or passive design. I've been doing it for 30 years. It's nothing new. It's the way we do everything. All the design is all taken on that way. It's these days, yes, you've got add-ons like solar panels, tanks, good insulation, and it's great that those products are available, but that's not what makes a house sustainable.
So were you ahead of your time, do you think? Because you have been talking about this for 30 years.
I suppose it's a more modern architect. I mean, in the 60s, the architects didn't do that. They just did very plain boxes sort of thing, and they didn't really respect climate. These days, many architects do respect the climate. We've got a real drive because our focus, we're very much specialist home design architects. So that's it. That's what we do. If you come to me with a restaurant, forget it. I'm not really going to be interested. My thing is designing spaces that have a great feeling for people that really work, where we come away at the end, where we've gone through this massive process, come out of it, and the people say, we just love to live here. Yeah. It's just perfect. It's just everything.
I think that's a really beautiful point to make. I recently, 12 months ago, moved into a new home, and we're just still getting to know it. And I often have friends over or do something and say, that's what I wanted. The house is working for me.
Yeah.
And I guess in a way, I wish I'd had that foresight a long time ago that you're talking about, to engage the expert and to help you steer you in that direction.
Yeah, because I get phone calls, which is a real worry. I do get phone calls where people have spent $500,000 and they say, my house is ugly. Oh. I said, how can the house be ugly? Why wasn't that worked out? You know, it's crazy stuff. So I'm trying to come in, educate people, not to say they're wrong, just to say, have you thought about these other ideas? These other ideas that will could make it better. Ultimately, the client chooses. I've had plenty of clients, some quite well-known people out there have been my clients, and they've said to me, "Oh, we started this renovation, we've done that. You know, we'll listen to you on this front, but we're happy to keep the stuff that we started the same because we spent so much money there. We're not prepared
Too afraid to step back from it. You mentioned those things before, like the solar panels, like the tanks, the more obvious sort of big ticket items, I suppose.
Yeah.
But there are actually things that, as you've been doing for a long time, that incorporate sustainability actually into the design. Can you explain some of those?
Yeah. So basically, we actually got a new house. We're about to start a new home at the moment. It's been assessed by a very qualified energy consultant. Now, that energy consultant determined the house that we've designed has an 8.7 star rating. Now, that's an extreme star rating. They said, they're based in Adelaide, they're not here in Queensland. They said they had done a 10 star, but they said, that's ridiculous. Most people can't afford a 10 star, you know. But the 8.7, they said, it's hardly any of those in Australia. So you've done this, mate. And they said to me, the only reason it's 8.7 is the design. It's responding to climate, the layout. So yes, you've got all the essential add-ons, the insulation, the solar. The client was obsessed. He can fit 62 solar panels on the roof. He's going to have 52.
I've got 51.
Oh, well, there you go. You're obsessed too. So, and the roof has been perfectly designed because the client is actually was a associate professor in mathematics. So we said to him this was a perfect angle, and he checked it out and made sure it was.
I mean, that's probably fun, isn't it? Like how lovely to get someone who really appreciates what you're doing.
Yeah. So. But we did have to encourage him to do certain other things because he was very much the esky person, building an esky. So building solar run air conditioning. That's only because of he's lived on a main road for 25 years.
Yeah.
So he's not used to opening his windows. But this new site he can open his windows and he can capture the breeze and things like that. But it's the key message is the design is what makes it sustainable, not just the add-ons. Just the add-ons. And it's, you know, be careful with that. You know, you can still have a great home. You can always have a great home, but you need to have all the right connections. You need to have the good zone. You need to have the good flow. You need to have the good indoor-outdoor relationship. You can have all of these things, but you've got to be careful with who you work with. Is the message.
And I guess finally, as we wrap up, you've mentioned those changes over time and what you're seeing. It is such a big industry now, and there are so many sort of offshoots. But there is a great deal of collaboration, isn't there, now, between the architects and the builders and the interior designers?
Definitely.
There are so many good people that are doing good things together.
Definitely. We in my team of people, I have an interior designer, so somebody dedicated to that. I have somebody dedicated to landscape design, and obviously we've got the architecture side, and then we have the right sort of builders for the right sort of job.
Because every client is different.
Yeah, every client's different, correct.
Well, we are so pleased that you could come and join us at the Reno Design Show. Dion Seminara is one of the best known names in the business and has certainly been doing beautiful work for a long time. He was sustainable long before it was trendy, long before it was cool, but thank you so much for being with us. And you'll see chats just like this one with Dion throughout July from right through until the 26th, as well as a whole lot of other wonderful events as we bring you this design show virtually.